Views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
This show's audio was via a Skype call.
The Truth is Funny with Colette Stefan will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network as she provides energetic shifts and consistent results in every area of life, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success. Many people who shift out of limiting beliefs roar with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. The truth is funny. Shift happens. Feel instant relief. Stay tuned for more fun and release struggle and suffering. And now, here's your host, Colette Stefan.
Today, your guest host, Phil Free, is here. Phil has been using energy work since 1998. He continues to apply these techniques every day to facilitate improvement for himself, family, friends, and clients. You can tune in and benefit from it too. Here's your guest host, Phil Free.
Hi, this is Phil Free. Welcome to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. I am filling in for Colette today. Stay tuned for the next hour to experience the instant relief of using your intuition to solve life's most challenging problems. Shift happens every Wednesday at 8 a.m. live on the airwaves and in the archives at thetruthsfunny.com, transformationtalkradio.com, and at transformationradio.fm. You can access the show also later on through the Higher Self Network if you're listening later. So if anybody wants to call in today, the number is 1-800-930-2819. And we are going to, or I am alone today, no guest today. So definitely call in if you guys are listening. I'm going to be sharing some information about just energy work in general, manifesting, some personal stuff. So I guess we'll just start there. Basically, when I was around 19 years old or so, I've been suffering from some allergy symptoms for about 3 years. And you may have heard a little bit of this in my bio when I come on with Colette or in the past. But basically, I'd been having allergy symptoms for about 3 years, and I decided to, actually I tried before that, I should say, going to a regular doctor, and wasn't really satisfied with the results or with what I was given. I was given some prescription for pollen and, help with allergies, and it didn't do a whole lot. So I decided that I was going to try something else. This is what I decided, and it took me a few years before I found some energetic practitioner and helped me out, really changed my situation really quickly in about half an hour, really. And I haven't had anything that we can call allergies since then, or any congestion of any kind that similar to that. So it really changed my life. And for me, I know one of the key things was that I needed to be open to it for it to work, or for not necessarily for it to work, but for me to accept it in a sense, and for me to know that it was like when my brother suggested I do this, it was my brother who came across this. I knew right away. I was like, yeah, definitely, I'm going to do this. I've been waiting for years for some alternative, and keeping my eye open here and there for things, but nothing really grabbed my attention. So when I came across this energy work, I was definitely interested, and I went on to study it and go on and use it in my life all the time. So basically, I don't know how we went on without it, honestly, now that I know it. That's the kind of feeling I have about it now. It's something that, really changed my life. And so I use it on a daily basis, basically. I use it to solve just about any problem that I have in my life, whether it's physical, non-physical, it doesn't really matter. And I also use it really towards past, present, and future issues. So what do I mean by future issues? I mean that basically if I have a goal, let's say, in mind, and I just get in touch with that goal, think about it. Sometimes I may have reactions. I may have emotional reactions or thoughts that bother me when I think about accomplishing a certain aspect of this goal. And so I can use this method to shift my energy, and then it shifts the process of it shifts the process, really. So basically, once I shifted the process, the outcome changes as well. When we're really nervous about the outcome, then a lot of times it doesn't really help the situation manifest the way we'd like it to. So that's how I use it with future issues. So I think about what I want. I think about the stresses, the possible problems that can come up. Pretty much anything I can get in touch with that can go wrong. And I also get in touch with what can go right. So I think about my goal in its perfection, in a sense. And I like that old saying about perfection and about it's something that may never be attained, but by pursuing it, you may achieve excellence along the way. So that's something I adhere to a lot. And I imagine my goal in its perfect form, if you'd like, and I shift my energy, everything that is bothering me and everything that I want about it. And I get myself as neutral as I can, really, to all outcomes and to the whole process. And the more I do that, the easier I find the outcome to manifest the way I want to. So that's one of the ways I use this, and that's one of the ways that I suggest that listeners use this. So obviously it might take a little bit of practice to get to that point. At the same time, I suggest that people put the time in to do it because it's well worth it once we've gotten used to it and it becomes somewhat automatic. It's not something that we have to think about so much, or it's not something that we're intimidated by so much once we got a good handle, just like anything else that we have experience in. First time we drive a car, we may be nervous. Maybe the first few times, maybe the first few months, maybe the first few years, we're not as comfortable as we may be, 5 or 10 years down the line of having driven. So all that's normal. A lot of people get discouraged is what I find in this energy work. So if they're not good at it right away, or if they don't really capture it right away, then they give up on it really easy. I find that to be quite a shame because there's some basic things that everybody can do on a daily basis that I would recommend because even if you don't want to help others or go too deep into solving your own issues, just simple things like putting your attention on your midline, this line that bisects our body from left to right. It's the line on which our spine sits, our belly button, our nose. So that line, if we just put our attention on that line, you'll find that it'll center us. So any problem we have in life, we can put our attention there. Just doing that simple practice without going deeper than that will help tremendously. Of course, you'll only get to a point with how far you're going to help yourself or help others with that because it's just one step, but it will still help tremendously. I can't emphasize that enough. So you can wake up in the morning and just put your attention on your midline and put your attention on your midline as well in the evening before you go to sleep. And if you do nothing else but those two things, your life will already have a lot of changes in it. You'll notice over the next few days and weeks and months. So that's why energy work, that's one of the reasons why energy work can be really helpful. And I recommend people do things of that nature. So I'm just going to strengthen the listener's midline in general because some people may do that and they feel absolutely nothing. So some people may have energetic weaknesses, as we call them, or imbalances, I prefer a lot of times, in their midline. So they go to their midline and they don't get much results. So we're just going to strengthen any listeners' midlines right now who have a weakness there or have a weakness to getting results by going to their midline, thinking about the midline, putting attention on their midline. I want to strengthen all the listeners now and in any future listeners who listen to the show down the line, all right? So when I say something like that, a lot of people think, oh, that's very mysterious or something like that. it's not nearly as mysterious as it sounds. Along with that thought or that saying, as soon as I say that phrase out loud, I'll notice the energy of my state. And if there's any imbalance to that, I'll shift it. So that's how I help manifest that reality. Now, do I get 100% immediately just because I said that statement one time and now all my listeners have a strong midline? I can't say 100% so, but I know that doing this helped more than if I didn't do this, and that more listeners will get results now that I've said this and done this than if I hadn't said this. So that's why I do it. Other than that, there are a few other little simple things, but I'm gonna mix and match a little bit between storytelling about my life and giving little lessons about energy work. And of course, feel free to call in. I'll help anybody with any issues if they would like. So as far as my personal story, going back to when I first came across this, and I shifted a lot after my first session, and I never forgot that. So I wanted to pursue this. At the same time, I was a little bit nervous. I was still pretty young by society's standards. So I did study it from afar in a sense that I didn't take any classes with that man that I met, but I did purchase a book of his, and I read that, and a few years later I did end up taking classes, and I went on to take a bunch of them, learn this method, and since then I've learned so much, and I've combined it with everything I've learned in life, and I've come across some amazing people. And outside of this energy work, I came across so many people in my life that have brought me to where I am and helped me sort of put this all together so I can be here talking to you guys now through the radio. And I'm not going to necessarily name everybody on this radio show today, but just want to say that there are a few classes and teachers that I had throughout the years that really, really helped me. Like the energy work, one thing that really helped me was also critical thinking, and combining critical thinking along with the energy work has been very helpful as well. I feel that when I took critical thinking, I kind of thought to myself after the fact, why wasn't this taught to us at a younger age? Why wasn't this taught to us from like first grade on sort of thing, or from early on in school? And I feel the same way with the energy work. It's like I feel as though this is something that basically should be taught from a young age. Even just that midline thing would really change a lot. So we're coming up actually on our first break. So we are listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. I'm Phil Free, filling in for Colette, and we will return after the break. Feel free to call in 1-800-930-2819. We'll make some more shift happen.
Stay juicy. Tune in to Your Juicy Love with me, Una Drake, co-hosting monthly with Dr. Pat, and every second Monday at 12 p.m. on Transformation Talk Radio. My show, Your Juicy Love, helps you find the dynamic, life-affirming love you've always wanted. Transform your relationships and bring peace, joy, and juicy, juicy love to planet Earth. For more information, visit unadrake.com.
Golden Otter Divinations Radio, where the metaphysical meets the mainstream with Autumn Seibel. Tune in the first Friday every month at 9 a.m. Pacific as Autumn, educator, health coach, and medium, explores metaphysical and mainstream strategies on how to elevate your level of conscious living. Draw in the abundance that is yours by divine right. For more information about working with Autumn, visit goldenotter.us. That's golden like the precious metal and otter like the precious animal.us.
Dream on, fly high, and live adventurously on The Laura Meeks Show. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as host Laura Meeks guides you in finding your unique gifts and bringing them to life. As a certified life coach, speaker, and veteran bomber pilot for the U.S. Air Force, Laura knows how to follow a dream. She is ready to support you so you can dream on, fly high, and live adventurously. For more information on Laura and her work, visit flyhighliving.com.
Would you like your next chapter to be free from fear and angst? Tune in to Your Next Chapter Radio, navigating through life's transitions with Shelley Ryan the fourth Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Shelley's contagious enthusiasm guides you through life's transitions deliberately, mindfully, and funnily. For Your Next Chapter coaching or to listen, visit YourNextChapterCoaching.com or call 602-617-8351. Next.
Join Jennifer Noel Taylor on the hit show Quantum Touch Radio, supercharging your life on TransformationTalkRadio.com. You'll take a quantum journey as we reveal powerful yet simple steps to create more abundance, better health, emotional and mental vibrancy, and happier relationships using universal quantum touch principles. For more information, visit JenniferNoelTaylor.com.
Are you ready to stop stress, anxiety, and low self-esteem from running your life? Join award-winning author Dr. Friedemann Schaub for Empowerment Radio and learn breakthrough solutions to switch out of survival mode and approach every day with great ease, joy, and purpose. Tune in the first and third Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific to Empowerment Radio with host Dr. Friedemann Schaub on Transformation Talk Radio. Visit thefearandanxietysolution.com to learn more.
Hi, we are back on The Truth is Funny. I am Phil Free filling in for Colette today. If anybody wants to email me, reach me, they can call me, email me at whatphil@hotmail.com. That's WHATTPHIL@hotmail.com. And anybody who wants to call to the show, the number is 1-800-930-2819. That's 1-800-930-2819. So I was just sharing some life experience and sharing about my energy experience, how I came across it. We are going to be taking I'll be taking my first caller here. Carter, we have a caller.
Yeah, Julie from Ontario. Welcome to the show.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Julie.
Hi.
Hi.
How
are you?
I don't know. I'm going through stuff.
All right.
Let's see it. Sorry?
What's the main issue that?
I'm going to go actually with the physical stuff. Physical symptoms. Okay. I'm going to go from there. I've been experiencing flooding with my menstrual periods, and sometimes right now it feels like there's a bit of a strain on the heart.
Okay. How much are you concerned about this on a 0 to 10 scale, 10 being the worst?
Sorry, it just got noisy really fast here. How much does
0 to 10 scale? Yeah, on a 0 to 10 scale, 10 being the worst.
Okay. I don't know, it's like 8, 7.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's look into this. All right, so let's just strengthen talking about it, not talking about it. So you're brave to talk about it. A lot of people don't even want to talk about it. A lot of people don't want to talk about any issue on the radio. So let's just get neutral to that. So let's strengthen you to regularity and non-regularity, okay? And then we're going to strengthen you to the amount of blood. All right? So we're going to get you neutral to the amount of blood that you're releasing, that you are basically not worried mentally by that. Okay? So people can lose a decent amount of blood without dying or passing out. You'd be surprised. I was just over at a hospital with somebody who just lost a bunch of blood, and they didn't die or pass out, even though they lost a lot of blood. So just a lot of people get intimidated by the loss of blood, or there's a lot of fear associated with that. So I'm just strengthening that for you. There needs to be no fear around that. All right. So I'm just going to do a few other things non-verbally just to speed up the process. And I'll ask you now. I don't know if you sense any difference yet, but I'll still ask you anyway. On a scale of 0 to 10 now, when you get in touch with having this issue, does it still bother you the same or different?
It feels like it's going down. I mean, I feel a little bit of emotion kind of coming up, so it feels almost griefy or...
Okay. All right, so just letting that go. It's okay to feel that for a moment. We don't need to hold on to it either. So that's just part of the release and the emotions that you're storing. So neutralizing you feeling that release, just make it a little more smooth, let it go completely. All right, so also just the concerns around other health issues like, oh, well, does this mean I have this or does it mean I have that? So let's just strengthen you to that. And whether you want to label your condition or not, let's just strengthen whatever's happening to you. You know, you could find a scientific diagnosis for it or you could not. But either way, let's get you strong to what's happening, and then it may change when it's not bothering you. In fact, it's easier for it to change. So that's another thing. A lot of people get very worried about a lot of issues. I just want to say that the body is pretty good at self-healing. I mean, when we fall down on the floor and get a scrape or something, we don't have to put conscious attention on our skin healing that and turning that skin into a scab, and then the scab going back to regular skin again. It just does it on its own unless there's some sort of energetic blockage. So let's just strengthen you and let's remove any energetic blockages you have from healing yourself. Okay, a lot of it is mental, actually. All right, so we're going to strengthen that, and then we're going to strengthen the emotions. You mentioned grief earlier. We're going to strengthen that one as well as anger for you. All right, so now let's look at a 0 to 10 scale. How much are you concerned about your issue now on a 0 to 10 scale?
Yeah, it just feels like there's definitely lots of some tension that's there. 3, maybe?
Okay. All right, so let's just strengthen same thing to the tension. Tension is not always a negative thing. So let's get ourselves neutral to the balance between tension and relaxation. So sometimes when an area feels tense, what we need to do is actually go against common belief in a sense, and actually not relax the area, but tense it more. By putting more tension there, like as if you're flexing your muscles, like you flex, like a men flex their bicep muscle or whatever, any muscle in the body you can flex if you put your attention there. Putting your attention where the tension is and actually tensing into the tension a few times, like you're doing a set of a few flexes or whatever, 5, 10 or whatever, just till it gets tiring. And a lot of times you'll find the tension will alleviate by adding a little bit more tension, in a sense, to the situation. So let's just strengthen you to being able to tension that area at will and keep it nice and balanced. We don't want to over-relax. We don't want to over-tense in life. So just being in that place that's perfect between balance and relaxation. All right. And we're just going to strengthen other concerns I'm just getting that have to do with things you may have read on the computer, other things maybe people may have told you about this. We're just going to strengthen that, neutralize all that, get you neutral that information, whether it's true or not true, being able to sift through it better, find out more clearly whether it's true or not. If it is true, you can follow it, listen to that information. If it's not true, don't listen to it, don't worry about it. All right. On a scale of 0 to 10, how concerned are you about the bleeding now?
Yeah, it's like 1 something. There's something holding.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, that's a lot of change already. Well, let's see. Since we still have a little more time before the break, why don't we continue, see if we can get it down to 0? That'd be great. At least it would be good for, I would hope. I shouldn't say that. So let's just strengthen. I'm just kind of babbling as I'm noticing. Sometimes I need to fill in the space so it's not empty while I'm correcting. So I'm multitasking while I'm shifting the energy, if you'd like. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm scanning your energy. I don't want to keep it boring on the radio. So I keep my lips moving as I do it. And I'm just going to strengthen you front to back, left to right, top to bottom. Center your energy all the way around. Inside, outside, And then we're going to strengthen other dualities, just neutralize other dualities in your life. Any duality that may be, like day and night, man and woman, anything. We're just going to neutralize you to dualities. Any duality. All duality. And then just going to clear a few other energetic issues there, some past issues and ancestral issues as well. All right. Now, if you get in touch with that issue you called in about, how much does it bother you on a 0 to 10 scale? Still 1 or is it changed?
Kind of 1. Like there just feels like there's something. I didn't mention this. I just went through a relationship transition, so it just feels like the grief of that is kind of coming up a little bit. So.
Okay, so we'll just strengthen any grief still coming up around that, and then the associations with your cycle and the relationship, and let's just neutralize them and make them neutral, one from the other, independent, free. So let's just strengthen you to your own cycle, being at your own rhythm, regardless of any man, relationship, or person, anything. Strengthening you to all of that. All right. When you get in touch with what you just said about the relationship, you still concerned about the whatever connection or whatever's still coming up, whatever grief, I guess it was?
Yeah, it's less tied to my cycle, actually, which is good. Yeah, now it's just the relationship to deal with. But yeah, it's not tied.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, that's good. Yeah, well, we do right now. If you'd like, I mean, I could touch on that just for 1 quick minute, if you want. I mean, what's the biggest thing about the relationship that's concerning you, or the one that just finished? Is it still grief that's coming up, or anger, embarrassment, shame?
Oh gosh, probably. I think there's guilt. There's definitely frustration with myself more. Maybe with him, but yeah, and I think a lot of it just like a feeling of attachment, like I think there's a fear of like, aging, whatever. Sure. Kind of coming up.
Okay, so why don't I just touch on that? We have about a minute or so before the break, but I'll definitely touch on this for a minute here. So we're just same thing. It's sort of the same style of shift that I just did, in the sense that strengthen you to being free, independent. And then we're going to strengthen, even though it sounds strange, we're going to strengthen you to the opposite, not being free and not being independent. So when that weakens you, you actually attract more, this feeling of non-freedom or non-independence. So let's just make you more balanced between independence, non-independence, and you just choose it. Just do whatever. It's like, I want to be independent, I'll be independent. I want to, be in a situation where I'm dependent on somebody, I can do that too. All right? So let's just strengthen. On some level, we're all somewhat dependent on each other. It's not always super direct, but as we look at our world, where did the orange juice that you drank this morning came from? It might have come from 3 different countries. Who knows? Across the world. So we're all dependent on each other on some level, whether we like it or not. We are going to hit a break. If you want to hang on until after the break, actually, we can do a little more. If not, I'll say goodbye to you now, but it's up to you.
Oh, hang on. Why not?
Okay, sure. We'll get some more work done with Julie after the break. Hang on, and we'll be right back to make some more shift happen.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
This is Debbie Pokornik with a break-free parenting tip. Parenting will always be a bit of a mystery. Who knows why some parenting ideas work and others do not? Or why some kids seem to succeed despite family setbacks, while others have so much given to them and yet fail to thrive. The one thing we do know is that once you have a child, you'll never be quite the same again. awe-inspiring emotions like overwhelming love, extreme guilt, intense frustration, and incredible joy make this job second to none. Breaking free of parenting pressures means recognizing the pieces that make us unique, the pieces that we carry with us from the past, and the pieces that are influenced by the society we live in. When we can pick and choose which pieces we want to keep around and change the others to align with our inner wisdom, we will feel more self-assured in our role as a parent.
For information and to work with Debbie, visit empoweringnrg.com.
Are you done being afraid to jump into the life that's waiting for you? Are you ready for a real shift? I invite you to tune in every Tuesday with me, Tracy L., on the Tracy L. Clark Show, where we will teach you how to live your extraordinary life. At 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I will provide the tools and the steps needed to help you transcend perceived limitations and move forward with an extraordinary life. For more information, visit me at tracylclark.com.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high-vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving, even in the face of adversity. Say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
Hi, this is Phil Free filling in for Colette today. I've been working with Julie here. I'll get back to her in just a moment. I just wanted to share Colette's info, since this is her show. If anybody wants to connect with Colette or get more info from her, you can check out her book, The Truth is Funny, or go to her website, thetruthисfunny.com, and she's also on Facebook and Twitter, etc. So look out for her. She's always doing some stuff, seminars and all kinds of things like that. Check out her book if you haven't yet. I have a copy myself. It's you basically shift as you read it, so I recommend it for pretty much almost everyone, really. All right, so I'll get back to Julie here. So we're working on a relationship here. I just going to ask you, since I last left you, how much is this concerning you on a scale of 0 to 10? This relationship that just ended.
Oh gosh.
You there, Julie?
Yeah, I'm there. I don't know. I my head says 6, 7.
Okay, that's fine. Let's just go with that. Again, even if it's not exactly accurate, it just gives us a baseline. The ideal is that eventually that we get down to 0 anyway. So let's see if we can get there real quick. I do have another caller coming up, so I'm just going to spend 2 more minutes on this one. Let's just strengthen you to feelings of loss, and we're going to strengthen you to the future. A lot of people, when they lose a relationship, there's a fear that they're not going to find another one. So we're just going to strengthen you for that. Or the time it takes to find another one in some cases, or the quality won't be the same quality, or sometimes some things are better, some things are worse. That's also a fear of some people. So we're just going to strengthen that for you as well. Strengthen you to that. So being sort of getting in that right place of neutrality to find the next relationship if you want to, or when you want to, and if you want to. Strengthen you to that. Strengthen you to any ideas of desperation or not being desperate. So let's strengthen a lot of people on this earth. So let's strengthen you that you can pick from, some of them if you want to. Let's just strengthen, or one of them, or 2 of them, or many of them. So all the ones, to strengthen you to all that. being able to pick or being picked. Let's strengthen you to being picked. So I'm going to strengthen you to that. All right, when you get in touch with this relationship that ended, are you still, or what number are you at?
3.
3, cool. All right, I'll just do one more little round, and then I got to get on to my next caller. So I'll do one more round here and ask you again. So I do sense still some grief, some concern, some confusion a little bit, some wonder is what's coming up. So we're just going to strengthen you to those things. We're going to shift the energy, get you in balance. You can wonder, you can not wonder. We'll get you more neutral to that. All right, so how do you feel now on a scale of 0 to 10? Same or different?
Lighter, actually. A lot lighter.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to take another caller here, but thanks for calling in, and feel free to call in next time. I'll be back on next month, or obviously Colette will be back next week.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks. You're welcome. Have a great day. All right. Well, we have another caller, so we're going to take our next caller. Claire, will you put her on?
Yeah, we have Martha from Seattle. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, Martha. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. I'll just tell you, I've been working for over 2 years on my solo show, and so it's not only working on the pieces. I was also fantasizing about how great it was going to be, and now it is tomorrow actually, and I'm terrified. And I think I would love to find some neutrality between, I sort of vacillate between, it's going to be this great thing, and then it's going to be, I guess fear of success, fear of failure, that kind of thing. Also, I have moved back to this town after being away for a long time, and I think it's like fear of being seen again, me. Anyway, so I would love to find a place of neutrality about it, because I'm actually really terrified about it.
Okay. Let's look into that. Let's just strengthen you first and foremost to this art. Is it an art show, by the way, or what kind of show?
Yeah, it's a solo art show. Yeah, and it's my work. I've been working for over 2 years, really a lot focused work, and but also having these ideas about it. But when it's actually here, I'm actually not really excited. I'm really scared.
Okay. So how much on a scale of 0 to 10 is that bothering you right now?
I'd say about an 8.
Okay. Let's definitely get to work on this. All right. So when I look at this situation, this is how we're going to get that result, get a better result than we would have gotten, by getting that neutrality. Mm-hmm. Like you mentioned, and that's what you mentioned, and that's what I mentioned at the top of the show too. So a lot of people, even with this energy work, mistake that this is some sort of way of sort of forcing an outcome, or like some sort of magic to get the outcome that you want. I'll find that I get the outcome that I want by actually getting more neutral. So to the outcome that I want, and to the outcome I fear as well. Not just one side of it, to both sides of it, or all sides of it, if you'd like. So when I look at the situation like yours, what I do and what I'm going to do for you is I want to strengthen you to both sides of it. I want to strengthen you to the excitement side of it and the fear side of it, all right? We're going to get into that real perfect balanced place. I like to compare it to a judge, a fair judge anyway, in a court of law. They don't want to have a bias. They don't want to think ahead of time with this guy, or be swayed by the first piece of evidence. First piece of evidence, now this must mean this. So they have to remain neutral as the evidence gathers. And this, at the end of the case, they have to make a verdict in many cases, and then they decide. They weigh, the evidence both ways. They weigh, perhaps their feelings about the situation, et cetera, but a plethora of things, So that's what we're doing in this. Neutrality, the easier it is to get the manifestation that you want. and the better you'll be if you don't get the manifestation you want. So it's kind of like a no-lose situation. So let's just strengthen you to be putting yourself in that no-lose situation with tomorrow's show. That no matter what happens, it'll be a great time. If you don't sell a lot of things, that you make a lot of great connections, make a lot of friends perhaps, meet a lot of customers, make some other connections that can help you down the line, that maybe will help you sell broker or something, or a broker of some kind, or somebody who has the right connections. So let's just strengthen you on the lowest of scales. Okay, well, even if I don't sell anything, can I still have a positive experience here? We can strengthen you on the other, side of the scale where, let's say, you sell everything that you bring. It's not very likely, but let's strengthen you, at least increase the possibility of that happening. So let's strengthen you to both extremes of it. And then anything in the middle and anything that's sort of a little bit above average, below average, we're just going to strengthen you to the whole spectrum in a sense. Okay, so now when you get in touch with just the art show in particular tomorrow, is it changed to 8 or has it gone up or down?
Yeah, it's gone down, I think. Yeah, definitely. To, I would say 6, 5, 4, something like that.
Okay, so we're going down. That's the good news. All right, so let's just work on that a little bit more here. When I look at this situation again, or sense the situation, that, like you said, the fear of failure and success is still sort of haunting you, if you'd like, if you want to call it that, or weakening you, or imbalancing. So let's just strengthen you to that. Let's strengthen that it doesn't really matter one way or another whether you succeed or fail on some level. You don't put your judgment or your worth as a human being into the outcome of this show. I know you put a lot of work into it, but we'll just strengthen. And I can relate too, just in the sense that I'm an artist too. I'm a musician, and sometimes you put a lot of effort into a show, and like this happened to me recently, where we rehearsed, we practiced, so we were ready to go. And then the day before the show, it was going to be a big event with a couple hundred people. And the day before the show, the event gets canceled for this technicality. So, there's always this life. In life, there's all these things that we can't control. And so we just want to be neutral to what happens to our hard work, whether it gets validated or doesn't right now or later, and just get you neutral to whenever it happens for you. We are coming close to a break, and you're definitely, since you had a couple issues here, you're welcome to actually stay on if you'd like over the break. Would you like to? And I can work on you more after.
Well, I was really also enjoying hearing your techniques for energy work, so I think it could go either way. One real quick thing is I'm also scared about some of the work in the show would be controversial. I guess I'm scared about being criticized for that, but I could just listen, I think.
Okay. Well, I'll work on that more, and sounds like you. I'll work on it more and talk about it a little bit on the show, and I'll let you go now. We got to hit a break. Thanks for calling, and feel free to call in either next week or next month.
Thanks so much, Phil. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye. We're going to hit a break, make some more shift happen after this.
High-frequency healing for an amazing life with Source Light Radio. Join host Laura Barton each month on Transformation Talk Radio as she explores Source Light integration, a unique spectrum of energy, light, and frequency. Experience instantaneous healing and amazing shifts in consciousness with Source Light Integrations Radio. For more information on Laura and her work, visit sourcelightintegrations.com.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
defining success and putting minds to work. With the Higher Learners Career and Leadership Series, Rudy Racine will help you craft your personal definition of success, offering support and guidance as you move forward towards your goals. Take the leap. With the right mix of focus and motivation, anything can be achieved. Tune in every first and third Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 Eastern, and for more information on Rudy Racine and Higher Learners, visit Rudy's site at higherlearners.com. That's HIRE learners.com.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show, talk radio to thrive by. I am so thrilled to be talking to all of you. We have got talk radio for all of us. Are you ready and willing and able to accept all of the abundance you can muster up in your life? Check us out, thedrpatshow.com, transformationtalkradio.com, transformationradio.fm. Oh my goodness.
Hi, this is Phil Free. I've been filling in for Colette today on The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. If you want to reach me, you can at whatphil@hotmail.com. That's WHATPHIL@hotmail.com. So I was working with Martha there and said I would continue working on her issue even though she's not on anymore. I'm going to do this in a way that's universal. So anybody who has these type fears, they can get these shifts as well. So she mentioned this fear of success and failure. A lot of people have that. A lot of times we're more afraid of who we are and what we can do than what we can't do. So let's just strengthen that for all kinds of people. Fear of our own power. So along with power does come more responsibility. So let's strengthen that. Strengthen that we can be powerful and responsible. We don't need to abuse our power. I know a lot of people do, and maybe it's subconsciously programmed into a lot of people that that's what happens when we get power, is we're automatically corrupted. So let's just strengthen that for all our listeners, that it doesn't have to happen to any of us. We can choose whether we want to be corrupted or not, or whether we are corrupted or not. And again, corruption is it's a moment-to-moment choice. We cannot be corrupt our whole lives and then make one decision that's corrupt, and we can be considered corrupt forever, or we have been a corrupted person for a long time and make one decision that's very beneficial to a lot of people, and maybe that's what we're remembered by. So it doesn't. We just want to be neutral to all of these things. We want to be neutral to both sides of it, essentially. And so when it comes back to the failure and success, we want to be neutral to everything that goes with success, everything that goes with the failure. So a lot of times when you look at failure, what are the common associations that a lot of people have? There's grief as far as an emotion. There's anger as far as an emotion. As far as thoughts, a lot of times people start thinking negatively. They might think even, to the extreme of suicidal, things of that nature. So strengthen all of that for any listeners, anybody who's gone through that, anybody who's going through that right now, and anybody who will go through that. Just get everyone neutral as we can, as you guys all allow, because this is not about forcing my way. Just because I say this doesn't mean everybody is going to be it. Everybody who wants it is going to be it, in the sense. I mean, you all have free will, and I can change the energy, and you guys can change it right back. So we all have the freedom to do that. So don't get afraid of what I'm doing and benefit from it if you can, and learn from it and apply it if you can. At the same time, I'm not going to be able to do anything for you that you're not allowing on some level. So don't be afraid. This is not some magic spell or voodoo or anything like that. It's much simpler than people recognize, actually. But you do have to be disciplined. Or at least I find I have to be disciplined in order to be effective with it. This goes counter to a lot of the ways we've been programmed or taught to act. I find in our society, and I grew up in the United States. I've certainly been to some other countries. At the same time, I know the United States is the best. And in the United States, I find that we have this mentality of that to get really excited about things, and the more we have, the better, and the richer we are, the better. It's like bigger, better, faster, more kind of mentality. And I find that there's some things that are good about that, some things that aren't so good about that. So I want to get myself neutral to those things. I get myself neutral, and I find that I can actually achieve bigger, better, faster, more by caring less about it, and by not making it such a personal or perhaps selfish endeavor. So if I have goals that are universal, that will help my community, my family, perhaps my city, my state, my country, who knows, then maybe bigger, better, faster, more is good in this case. So we want to just direct these things in the right direction. It's not about this is good and this is bad necessarily. It's just, does it apply to this situation or not? It depends on the context a lot. In most cases, in fact. So we're just going to get ourselves strong to all this. And back to the general correction for this whole group of failure and success. A lot of times also we're just going to get strong. People have weaknesses to what goes along with the success. So we're just going to strengthen that, all the traps of success, if you'd like. So let's just neutralize all of that for everyone listening. I'm not going to name them all because we're running out of show and we don't have a whole lot of time. So I'm just going to strengthen it, balance it. All right. Since we are running out of time, I do want to share another sort of energetic lesson, if you'd like. And I have shared this many times on the phone. I usually end the radio show. I want to expand it while I have a couple extra minutes here today. I usually or often end the shows by saying that we can create our real reality, and that everything that we see around us that was made by human beings was a thought before it was a reality on some level. Even if it was a vague thought or an abstract thought or something, it was still a thought. And even if it was mass-produced, somebody had to think of the machines to make them and the number of chairs they wanted, and somebody had to design that in the first place. So all of this was thoughts before it was a reality. So in order to change our future and create a really beneficial, wonderful place for us to live together, that we can live on Earth together in harmony, and we have to begin by imagining it. That's where it really starts. If we can't imagine it, then we don't know what we're creating, what our aim is. So it starts by imagining this world, and it may be different for all of us a little bit, but let's all get as universal as we can. What are the things that we all would like? I mean, I assume not a lot of people are going to argue about having clean air and clean water, for example. Think of other universal things along those natures. Just start with the basics, food, shelter when we need it, things of that nature. So just being neutral to all that. And having, when we have these universal goals and stuff, we can get ourselves aligned with that. We get ourselves neutral to it. We get all of ourselves neutral to it. That's the next step. It's not just visualizing. So you may think, oh, well, I visualize a lot of things and they don't manifest. You're absolutely right. Not every thought we have is worth manifesting either. So you'll be glad that it's not so simple as just thinking and it manifests in most cases. Because sometimes we have a bunch of thoughts that are not worthwhile, or they're crappy thoughts, or they're mean thoughts, or vengeful thoughts, or angry thoughts of some kind, or sad. So we want to be neutral to all of that, and we want to decide which thoughts we want to manifest and which ones we don't. So that's our chance to filter it, in a sense. Filter our thoughts, filter our processes. And so it's a good thing that we don't manifest so quickly sometimes, that there is a little bit of a lag, or we have to decide consciously whether, hey, this thought I want to put energy into, this thought I don't want to put energy into. So the next step, beyond visualizing it, I would say, is getting neutral to it. And that is like we've been doing all show long, looking at both sides, what we want, what we fear, getting neutral, getting to the place where we can handle either spectrum and anything in the middle of that. So let's just do that for the entire group. And since we're running out of show here, I'm just going to recap that real quick in case anybody missed it. So first step is we visualize the world that we want to live in. I mean, we can do it personally. We can do it for the world at large. I would say, leave room for others to imagine. Imagine the world you want while leaving room for others is my recommendation, to imagine what they want as well. And keep it simple, the basics and the most essential first. Start with those things. And once we've imagined what we want, able to do that, we just look at the fears, emotions, etc. that comes up along with that. Get ourselves neutral to that. If you don't know how to do that, like I said, you can put your attention on this midline of ours. Each of us has one. You can get in touch with a practitioner like myself or Colette, and we can help you out too. You can take one of her courses as well. I'm not trying to promote too much, but it's the truth. And so we're going to get ourselves neutral. There are more steps in that as we go, and I'll further teach them as we go in further shows. But for now, if we can get those first two, just imagining what we want, seeing the world we want to live in, and then getting ourselves neutral to what comes up around that, both on the positive and negative side of it. Really just getting ourselves in a point of, in a sense, some people might call it creative indifference. And some people might call it unbiased. All right, well, we are running out of show here, so I want to thank all the listeners for listening, the callers for calling in. I want to thank Carter for producing the show and mediating with the callers. And we'll be back. I'll be back next month. And Colette will be back next week on Wednesday. So have a great week, and talk to you next time.
You've been listening to The Truth is Funny with Colette Stefan. Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Stefan each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network as she provides energetic shifts and consistent results in every area of life, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. The Truth is Funny. Visit thetruthisfunny.com for more information. That's thetruthisfunny.com.